What's up, boss? How you doing, boss? Thanks, boss. Boss, boss, boss. The word boss has become an empowering term that we use every single day in conversation. In today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 good qualities to making a great boss. So if you're looking to level up and take that next step, or you already in that position and you struggling, you equate these 5 qualities and I guarantee you'll be a great boss. Number 1, you want to lead by example. When you the boss, you got to know as always a set of eyes on you. So you got to stay on your P's and Q's. You got to make sure you following every standard, and you got to make sure you doing all the procedures the right way. You got to make sure you showing up on time. You got to make sure that you doing everything you want your employee to do. So anything that you want your employee to do, you need to make sure you a master in that area and you doing it, because leading by example is a way to get your employees to buy in and do the right thing. If they see you always doing the right thing and doing it the right way, then they shouldn't have no kickback, and it makes it easier for you to do your job and enforce the rules. Number 2, you got to treat everybody fairly. Regardless if you know this person for 5 years or if you know this person for 30 minutes, you need to treat all your employees equally. You need to throw out sex, you need to throw out race, you need to throw out religion, you need to throw out age. You need to treat everybody who comes into that building equally. You can't have a favorite employee, and you can't let this person do something and only want to enforce the rules with this other person, because all that's going to do is cause a mutiny in your staff, and your staff going to be getting into it, and then the next thing you know, that's going to trickle down to you, and they're going to be calling you out for not treating everybody fairly. So just make sure you treat everybody fairly regardless of what. Treat them how you would want to be treated, and you would want to be treated fairly. Number 3, being a boss, you're going to have to do some things that nobody else wants to do. And a lot of times, this is where bosses go wrong. They think once they get promoted and they the boss and they over everything, that they don't have to do certain things. That's quite the opposite. When you the boss, you got to be willing to do the things that nobody else wants to do. That's why you got put in that position. A lot of times you'll hear people be like, I can't see how you do this. I can't see how you do that every single day. I can't see how you work those hours. I can't see this. They can't see that because they not you. And that's the reason why you the boss and they're not. So when you the boss, you just got to let go of that mindset that you finally made it. And it's going to be times that you're going to have to do the stuff that don't nobody else want to do. But in those times, that's how you gain your staff, and they gain trust in you, and they just believe in you. When they see you doing some stuff that you could have asked them do that they didn't want to do, but they know that you're willing to do anything and you're a boss, that's going to make you a great boss. Number 4, you got to make the tough decisions. This one thing that a lot of new supervisors or a lot of new bosses struggle making, and that's making the hard decisions. Everybody can to make the easy decisions, but when it comes to the tough decisions, nobody wants to make that decision. That's when they call in another supervisor, or they call in the owner, or they call in they higher up. But when you the boss, you got to be able to make the tough decision, and you got to be able to live with it, regardless of what the consequences is. At the end of the day, it's better to make a decision than not make a decision. And if somebody puts you in a position to be the boss, they're going to want you to make those decisions, because if you're going to have to call somebody else every time it's for a tough decision, then you're the wrong person and you don't need to be in that position. So you got to learn to live with making the tough decisions. And the last thing, number 5, is knowing when you're wrong. I mean, this goes hand in hand with making a tough decision. Sometimes we make tough decisions and we wrong. But regardless of the point, we human. And even though you're the boss, you still gonna be wrong sometimes. So you gotta know when you're wrong. If your employee or somebody brings something to your attention that you thought was one way and it really was the way they thought it, or they see you doing something, or you misled them and gave them some information that wasn't right, then you need to let them know that you was wrong. And it's okay to admit when you're wrong. That doesn't make you weaker. It actually makes you stronger when you can admit to the people around you that you're wrong. And that will help them buy into you also. And then when you're the boss, you should always try to surround yourself around the best people. I mean, great bosses always have great teams. So when you have a great team, you're not going to be right all the time. And there's going to be certain areas that you specialize in, and maybe somebody else specializes in another area and to their expertise. So just knowing when you're wrong. Now, if you incorporate these 5 qualities, you'll make a great boss.